Assalamu alaikum. Hi, Oracle Reiki Spiritual Healer. And today we're talking about what it means to heal from different kinds of relationships. So, usually I like to, like I say, I like to give spiritual baths to break bonds, trauma bonds, to break those ties. Sometimes we have people in relationships, they have those lingering feelings that cling on to certain people and certain things. Sometimes I like to use candles in order to break those bonds because they need to be broken. We need to, be able to move forward in our emotional health, in our mental health, and break those ties from those toxic and negative people. So, like I say, I have a tendency to help my clients with these kinds of problems that, they're having, problems clinging on to girlfriends, boyfriends, husbands, wives, after breakups. And we need to be able to empty our soul out. Again, one of the best ways to empty our soul is first to cry, and cry out to God and ask God for, that bond to be broken and removed, to replace that relationship with a connection with God. That's one of the first things that I like to say to my people that come to me that have these trauma bonds, that have these narcissist and toxic relationships. Again, I have been in toxic relationships where I've had to remove the negative energy from myself, from the person that had tried to trauma bond me, who had tried to make me dependent and codependent upon them. I have had relationships with negative individuals. And, they would give everybody else something. If we were in a meeting or we were having a party, and they would give everybody else, a gift or some money or, anything. They would give everybody else something, but they would leave me out. And this is the type of person that I was in a relationship with. And, and I've had to check family and friends because of that, because they saw what the person did, and then, supposed to be friends, started, oh, well, he gave me something, so I mean more to him than you do, and you live with him, and he's your, husband. And so, when you have to check people and when you have to let them know that, yeah, I saw the move, but it's not for you to take someone's side, because you can be gone, because he's trying to, establish control, but I really have that kind of control over you and him. So, that is the point that I'm trying to make, that you have the kind of control over yourself. And if you feel like that you don't have that kind of control over yourself to, exert that kind of power, that, I can cut ties with this person and not, feel wounded and not feel damaged. That's what the overall new self is, that we're walking forward into our new self. We're walking forward as healed chosen ones, as healed empaths. And when you cannot do that, if you're stagnated to keep going over and over, it's all right to talk about it, but we're not going to stay there with one specific person, because that means that there's a trauma bond. So we need to break that. And if you're clinging to a person, if you're clinging to the past, then, you can reach out to me and I can suggest some things that you can do in order to break those trauma bonds, in order to break that clinging onto a negative person relationship. Because ultimately, to heal is to move forward. Yes, okay, to talk about where you have been at. It's okay to be angry about, I wasted so much time and I thought that this person was the one. I thought that this person was going to be with me forever. And that goes for relationship, friends, and family. When you're having a lot of trouble breaking those trauma bonds as chosen ones, that means that you're harboring that resentment that, you couldn't have those kinds of relationships because ultimately God has called you to do something else. With your relationship, with your time, you haven't met the person in your life. You haven't, met your soul family. You haven't had that kind of happiness, and you are supposed to be walking into that kind of happiness right now, which is the reason why God has isolated you, which is the reason why God has moved those toxic family members, husbands and wives out of your life, those toxic children out of your life. We have to stop clinging to things, and we have to stop clinging to the earth, into old places, and keep going back into old realms. I know a lot about going back into old realms and backtracking and all of that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, once you take these spiritual baths, once you pray, once you put God first in your life, and then you can see the kind of behavior that another person comes with. You can see the kind of behavior that the person carries, the character of the family, and ultimately the person that you want to be around, that you want to marry, that you want to do the right thing and enter into the relationship the right way, with the conduct and the character in the right way. The problem is you're clinging on to people whom God sent, in your life as a lesson to you. They were a lesson to you. They were not for long term. And you are mourning over those broken relationships when you shouldn't be mourning over those. And we have to get past that. We have to know how to heal that in ourselves. We are not healed until we stop looking at the past, at the people in the past, how they treated us, what did they say to us, you know what I'm saying? The harm that they caused, love bombing, and then in the same instance, they take that back. And we have to take a back seat to them and how they hurt us, how they harmed us, and friends and family. We have to stop backtracking and clinging to that energy, because ultimately that is over. It is meant for you to move forward. It is meant for you to move forward with us, your new family, the new people that you're supposed to be around. And it's meant for you to be around us so we can ultimately heal those old wounds. God is using new people to close old doors in your life so that you will stop clinging to old things. Get rid of the old. Out with the old. You cannot say that you're going to get rid of, old places. You're going to move to a new place and still take the same behavior with you. Then you might as well have taken that person with you in your life. We're going to use the holy books in order to heal ourselves from clinging on to people and the past. The past is just that. It's all right to talk about it. It's all right to use it as a learning tool and instrument. But it's not all right to stay there and hope and wish that this had never happened. And, I hate this person. And to stay into that energy means you're clinging. And you'll need to get in touch with me if you want to stop that clinging. You'll need to reach out to me in an email and let me know what's been going on with you. Why are you clinging? Why are you moving into these relationships? And we can stop that clinging and trying to hold on to the past and trying to hold on to something that you're no longer a part of. I hope that this has helped you. You can reach out to me at any time at highoracle.com. You can reach out to me in the comment section below, or you can send me an email and we can do a one-on-one session and we can book that for you. So I'm High Oracle, Reiki Spiritual Healer. Assalamu alaikum.